Hello, Andy.
Hello, Jefferson. Greetings.
Hey, Andy.
Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
So, Jefferson, why are we here today?
Today, we are going to talk about collaboration, discussing best practices extract from one outstanding project. Most likely you, audience, face collaboration challenges when scaling up projects, and so it's real easy for you to relate to the subject when it comes to remote teams. We will discuss two different sides of the same story, sides that you recognize for sure. One, from development perspective, and two, from management point of view. And before we go into details, it's important to start with the context for our discussion today. Let's talk about the project that brought us here, IKEA Place. IKEA published a mobile augmented reality application called IKEA Place. This application enables you to see virtual furniture in your living room. Really amazing. Released in 2017, it set standards for augmented reality and retail at that time. It was released together with Apple's brand new augmented reality platform called ARKit. That also changed the augmented reality market for the better, becoming the top iOS app in this category and maintaining the first spot for many years. It was one incredible time to be part of this outstanding team and see the recognition from the public. We were there to press the initial release. After launch, IKEA really liked the idea and saw great potential to continue the digital thread into augmented reality together with PTC. The success of the project is also the success of the teams involved. After initial launch, we, from PTC, were required to create more and more features, new opportunities for the end users, and keep this innovative application thriving, where such numbers of downloads for augmented reality were still unheard at that time, especially in this market. Remember, Apple, with its new augmented reality framework just released, meant new possibilities, and the client also saw the potential and asked us for more. That is, new features. With both factors combined, it gave us, the developers, the opportunity to fully explore new frontiers.
That's all great, but the amount of work has now started to grow by the day. New roadmaps being planned, new horizons for the application. Everything looking good to skyrocket, out of control. More features and more work, great. But this also means new teams and increased responsibility. More management, more monitoring of work progress, more tracking of hours, and so forth. The list gets exponentially bigger every slide with which we present this story. So, Jeff, how are we working that out?
Sure thing, Andy. This is where we start with our challenges. While working with fast-paced, talented, and outstanding team, this is translating to hard times for managers. On development perspective, we saw a great project skyrocket into new frontiers, new features, and new opportunities for augmented reality. More developers on board, and therefore multiple remote teams to manage.
Okay, now you say managing various teams and not of the same company. This form of distributed management becomes a big issue. How did you decide the work breakdown? Where is the design for the application? To whom do we need to talk to about legal issues? And most importantly, Jefferson, where's my espresso?
We were at the beginning of new possibilities and new unexplored features. And Andy, don't worry, I got to express right here. More features? Okay, now we need to stop this. We are talking about more work and more features, but where are we going exactly? This is a long-term commitment with the client. Andy, where is my roadmap? And where did you hire the design team? We need to talk to them.
Okay, developers, they're always wanting something from the managers and always complaining, right? At this point, it is just important to deliver the work quickly and efficiently. The bigger picture we can worry about at a later date, but we still need to be planning for the future.
And to assist, we start to make use of more and more tools. Every day a new design toolbox, every week a new way of sharing documents. The toolbox was multiplying. From one side, there is a development team with a high-speed delivery. From another, several layers of management to handle the project, both internal and external. This looks like something about to explode. Lack of communication and difficulties to navigate the management layers with friction can make your life more difficult than it should be. From the development perspective, this is translating into a slower pace of delivery and maybe some wrong turns on the decisions for the project.
Absolutely right. You may have faced those kinds of challenges we've mentioned so far, and probably you have also worked with a short-sighted roadmap, lack of communication, and low-performance teams. Jefferson, this does not sound like the skyrocket project you described just 2 slides ago.
I am Jefferson Escomação, AR Field Lead Manager from PTC. For IKEA Place, since the beginning, I have been the senior technical lead and central developer of the project. Now I am managing the technical program for all IKEA's AR activities.
And I am Andy, project manager from PTC. For both IKEA Place and all of IKEA's AR activities, I am managing the day-to-day ITSM strategy. Today, we will take you from dream to reality within the IKEA Place story, talking about the biggest wins of Trello collaboration success.
For the next 20 minutes, we'll explain and show the best practices we learned from this incredible project. Together, let's see the challenges and outcomes that made collaboration seamless while organizing it with the minimum overhead for all the teams involved.
We will start our story with the need we had in order to use Trello as a collaboration tool. All parties in the project were not allowed to share common spaces like Confluence, Jira, or other similar tools, which created a barrier in communication and teamwork.
Looking into that, collaboration is key to any project success. When the PTC team needed to scale up, we decided to find one tool that could manage and scale accordingly. We have our own teams, locally and remote, as well as external teams where we need to perpetually maintain information and provide updates constantly. The tool we would use should just work with good uptime and reliable. In addition, should be a proven technology trusted by the market. The conclusion was Trello. Scalable, cards, boards, all organized in several teams. It works as intended, trusted by the market, uptime is excellent, good community around the tool. For us, it has a low overhead regarding using the tool, no admins, fast to add teams and new resources. Because it's simple and direct, it makes it user-friendly and easy to use. We couldn't share Jira, Google Drive, or any other online collaboration tool for many different reasons. This is where Trello setup has proven to be effective and produce the results we needed. Keep it simple. Simple boards, simple cards, where you can organize teams easily and manage roadmaps efficiently. Use color schemes to quickly identify urgent topics, as well as assisting and mapping out your work effectively. Data is the key, gathering the most of what you can with your setup. This made Trello the perfect solution for all collaboration needs for the project.
Absolutely. And with Trello comes team setup. With multiple teams, the work needs to be split, and so decisions were made. 1, share the responsibilities. Who will update and why? Not everybody will be a member of each board and card. 2, define the best way to communicate about updates between teams. Simply follow the card or assign to someone and it will do the work for us. 3, test and quality assurance sessions will benefit from structured communication, making sure someone is assigned to guide external members. 4, Trello is good for keeping information organized, while exchanging information for projects is key. As an example, keeping a good source of files is vital to keep the house clean. A simple Google Drive connected with the G Drive power-up creates a clear file structure and avoids mixing too many tools for managing governance. Also, it is a big project risk if someone accidentally deletes a few PSDs, causing lost time and overhead to recover. 5, nothing is worse than losing people, right? You all know this one. When one team or person goes away, you have this gap that the newbies need to fill. In this way, using Trello, the PTC team was able to manage transitions easily. Because the source of the roadmap, all design and technical documentation was properly documented inside Trello, it meant that we had minimal problems with our execution. This will make your teams move faster and deliver better.
Quality assurance and user testing procedures. You, us, everybody. We all need them to make sure our projects are running as expected, efficiently and effectively.
Many of you listening to this right now, if not all, understand how important quality assurance is. It is not just vital to your business, it is an area of major concern, because if not executed correctly, it greatly impacts your team. That in turn impacts their delivery, resulting in less than optimized products and therefore greatly impacts your business. For us, the challenges were clear: improve overhead and communication.
For our PTC case, you must remember that we had limitations on tools to be used. Nothing better than being resourceful. Exploring unknown territory will always create new risks, issues, and challenges. They all need managing and mitigating. We rely heavily on QA and user testing to make sure our application runs as intended. Trello also important us speeding up the process and our agility. It has less bureaucracy and more freedom to move work forward. This is the main overhead relief for the teams. Less side tasks, focus on what needs to be accomplished. Right, Andy? And what are our best practices for testing?
We have 4 in total. It is important to mention that any board, card, or detail that are involving our issues should be as minimal as possible. This will ensure that we are not creating a new kind of monster within our project and that we will still maintain a fast pace of testing. The second, we can always and easily over-engineer things. A fact of Trello is that simple solutions are often the correct ones, so we keep life simple. Thereafter, communication between teams is always a hot topic. Trello cards are great for handling most of it, while not creating massive overhead for development. For management, we go back to that last point. Keep it simple so developers and managers can have a pleasant experience with the tool. And last, save time for our project. This case showed us the importance in reducing time spent with decision-making and sharing progress updates. Quality assurance and user testing are always fun, and for sure you know the challenges that are faced when it comes to pre-releasing software or major gateways in any type of project. Therefore, with that in mind, it is important to understand roadmaps within Trello and how this can be of advantage to you. When you face complex and challenging projects, you often need to understand the needs from all sides to make this happen. In this case, the tracking of the roadmap within Trello was vital to success and best collaboration for our teams. First, we defined the parties involved with this specific roadmap, because there can be many and it splits visions. Then create cards representing features. Then organize and group them into onboarding sections. This means we have agreed to create those features, which means sign off from all stakeholders involved in the roadmap. And then everything gets into motion. The lists of in progress and done then become nothing more than obvious next steps. Everything flows great when communication is solved at the onboarding stage. In certain cases, we require product owner approvals to ensure features can be marked as done. This means that after all the project planning and execution, we will need a final approval. To lower the risks, the feature or project should have as little deliverables as possible, making progressive approvals and therefore avoiding common pitfalls or use of old, out-of-date methodologies. Jefferson, take us through sharing the roadmap.
Sure, Andy. Let's start. First, the shared responsibility to maintain Trello boards was the main catalyst for this success story. From both sides, we have shared work towards the same results. When the responsibility is properly set, then everything flows smoothly. In this story, the external management was running the roadmap, and it was their responsibility to maintain Trello. On the opposite side, internal development, us, was following the roadmap and updating what we were doing. Sounds simple, but communication is critical for any project. And no matter the size or scale of a project, it's pivotal to success. This is also relevant for other types of external teams like design, QA, and testing. And for the last, shared responsibilities, but with very well-known tasks to be performed, all contained inside Trello.
Good job. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's really awesome. Let's get a little bit onto progress tracking. What are our tips for handling that?
Thanks, Andy. Let's start. First, always have the managers handle most of the roadmap tracking. For developers, it may be confusing interpreting it as too slow or incomplete. Power-ups are great. Use them. Trello has many useful ones, and don't over-engineer too much. File sharing is an area that can be overdone easily, and be careful with too many steps to create or edit a card. Keep it simple. One extra hint here. Store as much info in your Trello cards. Make it easier to track and be less prone to errors, as files can be deleted too freely when linked to Google Drive or Dropbox. Roadmap tracking is meant for high-level content, for detailed work, project planning, and so on. This should be done inside the team that will accomplish the task or feature themselves. Want to keep that on Trello? Cool, do it. Create a new board for that team and their work. On the next one, for that, a proper technical handover from product owner to development team is most appropriate. In our case, that did the trick nicely. And for the last, for every major release of the app, it is recommended to create a new board. This will ensure clarity for what belongs to where, when to build it, when to ship it. This is a tip from software development, but can be easily applied to any project program running in any industry. Moving forward, continuous development is great, and Trello has a special place in this subject. When collaborated together in different teams from different entities, it produces one exceptional outstanding result. When we got to the point teams had integrated as much as possible, the power to have everybody working in sync was suddenly evident. Even with all the Jira planning, Bitbucket repositories, and all other tools, it was Trello that saved the day when it comes to external teams. This became easily the first choice for a project with such tight requirements like this one. This is even more special if you have limitations arising from the rules of engagement of the business or its management. For the last, for us, with development and external content from QA being at the core of our work, user testing and important milestones definitions made the project planning easier and faster. And Andy, about the data inside Trello.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to all the benefits of Trello, it is also important to highlight the extra significance of keeping track of information. You will generate a history of decisions at high level that can help identify and solve doubts and mistakes. And with the already generated data, it is easy to understand and reuse part of the knowledge to start over. Our recommendation to you is to never delete boards, and definitely just archive them after immediate completion of each project or version. It is always interesting to look back and perform retrospective on the higher level. Retros aren't just for sprints. So that is our story. And now it is time to summarize our success of using Trello for collaboration and remote teams. Herewith, our biggest wins. The first biggest win. Trello is great for collaborative teams and remote work. The lessons learned from this great story is that overhead is always an issue and that you should tackle it sooner rather than later. Nowadays, keeping a good pace for development is mandatory. Keep it simple with clear goals.
And another biggest win, QA and testing scenarios can benefit from this approach that thus you can improve them using Trello. With the right and proper tools, you give enough freedom and speed to the smaller teams of testers. And last but not least, development processes are greatly evolved with modern techniques and agile approach. You can learn from this story to cut unnecessary blocks and overhead from the team and enable speed and agility. Also, be resourceful when it comes to protect requirements like the ones we faced, avoiding roadblocks and maximizing team communication all the while unload bureaucracy reports, tools, and tasks.
This is our IKEA Place story, PTC's best practices on collaboration using Trello. Thank you for listening. We trust you enjoyed this learning experience and now you are ready to take on your own collaboration. We wish you all the best and great Trello success.